Hey Clashers, something everyone needs with this new Town Hall 15 update is, that's right, it's bases. Everyone needs bases, and we are going to talk today about farming bases and clan war and legend bases. I'm going to provide you with some nice base links, but not only that, make sure to watch this video because I will tell you what to use in the defensive clan castle, and I have been playing Town Hall 15 already for a few months, which means I will give you a couple of tips and tricks for defensive base building. And as always, after updates, there's still offers in the shop. There's those skins as well, and if you're thinking about buying any of those, make sure to use the creator code. It takes you a couple of seconds, especially if you plan to buy anything anyways. And if you want to support me and this channel, well, it's code iTzu. Really appreciate that. But now let's take a look at those bases, because I have bases for rage spell towers, for poison, for invisibility, depending on how far you are in your upgrades. Especially, I want to start with the farm bases, and I will always give you some tricks if you want to tweak your own bases and make those bases even better. So let's get started. The first thing is we're starting with farm bases and on the rage tower level. The rage tower is okay. It's not that crazy. It's nice to dish out damage, but I feel like especially in farming, the one thing which really gives more protection is more like the poison or the invisibility tower, because if it's like the rage tower, it's nice to have, but what is even more important in farming bases, that's right, where the loot is located. And you can see we have overall all of those storages nicely spread out, so people cannot collect all of the loot at once. The DE storage is protected by the clan castle building and by the town hall, so sneaky goblins cannot that easily reach it, which makes it incredibly hard to get to. The next thing as well, spell tower itself. I already said, it's overall pretty nice if you use not the rage tower. So if you have already on level 2, it's the exact same base. You just switch it to level 2. It's the exact same base. Both links are down below in the description. And now the question might be, iTzu, what should I do if I use a different set? Like if I use the level 3, if I use the invisibility tower? Well, the answer to this is pretty simple. All you need to do is a little bit of a switcheroo, okay? You have to switch it with those air sweepers. What does this do? Well, pretty simple. If you switch it, take a look at how much you're covering. You're going to cover the town hall and the dark elixir storage. Those are the key things to protect. So all you have to do now, switch to invisibility, and you're looking fine. Take a look at that. You're covering so much in this base. The next thing, as I said, this base is purely built and tweaked and everything to make farming and attacking against it not that easy, especially with sneaky goblins. That's like one of the most used strategies for farming. There is a ton of traps for those sneaky goblins to reach the town hall and the dark elixir storage, because the dark elixir is the biggest thing you want to protect on Town Hall 15. As well, we have all of those bombs and small bombs on the outside to make the life of sneaky goblins really, really miserable. That's how you protect your loot really nicely. But something everyone wants to know is, what's iTzu? What about attack, legend, clan war, action? Well, let's take a look at the first base, okay? The first base with the rage tower, and I have to say, there's so many people on Twitter posting their bases. And I don't want to say this base is perfect, but one thing which a lot of people are doing really not that well is placing their spell towers. The main reason for this is it's either everyone is stacking everything around the spell towers, which is not good because lightning spell is incredibly broken right now. I will do a video about that soon, but with everything being then so stacked around the spell tower, it's not really giving you anything. So it's like, yeah, lightnings and everything is just gone. So it's not really that good. The second thing everyone is doing wrong is placing their spell towers in the middle line where most likely a lock launcher is going to come in. Smash attacks are really strong. If it's like a super bowler attack, a titan smash, electro titan smash, or even just a 9 titan or 10 electro titan spam, most of the time people are using the lock launcher from the other side. And if you then have a poison tower in the middle of your base or any spell tower, which is getting sniped from that lock launcher and from the logs, you're not getting any value out of that. So this is something you really have to take in consideration. But let's get back to this base, okay? We have the rage tower on this first version, which is raging up the air defense, which is isolated, where we're raging up the scatter shot, which is pretty nicely placed as well, and possibly even the defending queen. So the rage value over there is really, really solid. Again, as I said, we want to make sure that it's staying a bit isolated to really, really make sure that it's getting the value it needs. Because if we again take everything around it, we give too much value with the lightnings. Air defense, as I said, it's anti-Electro Dragon, so it's really annoying. The core monolith is going to be true pain in hell for those attacking air spammers. And, well, that's a pretty solid core. But, one thing as well, again, something about the next spell tower. Because the thing with the Rage and the Poison Tower, I feel like those bases most of the time are working pretty similar. The Poison Tower, and that's why I think it's just so good and works so well, is the other two spell towers, the Rage and the Invisibility, they are relying on boosting up or protecting other towers. The Poison Tower is a threat in its own, so you can really let it isolated, and that's exactly what this is. We have this isolated. If someone's coming from far side, this Poison Tower is going to be super annoying. If someone is attacking with air next to this, next to the Town Hall, well, the Poison Tower is going to slow everything down, make sure the scatter shot, make sure the Monolith and the air defense can non-stop shoot. So it's really annoying to get into that. And again, I have links for all of those different versions down below in the description if you want to copy it. But there's a level 3 as well of those spell towers as well, which is the invisibility. So I would compare the poison to the invisibility. If I would do a ranking, it's like, I guess poison and invisibility on level 1, and then rage at like level 3, or like it's really down, like it's not really good to use. But the one thing I really want to highlight is the invisibility tower is more risk, but getting high reward, which means 1-stars are really, really likely with using the invisibility. At the same time though, if the attacker knows how to trigger with the lock launcher and stuff like that, well, 3-stars are more likely as well. So with the poison tower, it's more like comparing it to, let's say the poison tower is anti 3, and let's say the invisibility is an anti 2. So this is like the thing how I would compare it. But let's get back to the invisibility tower. It's really important that you're not staking too much value around those towers. On this one, yes, this spell tower is somewhat in the middle, but a bit of offset to make sure that it's protecting not too many buildings, to not give too much lightning value. At the same time, the lock most of the time, if there's people, like if there are any crazy people coming with the lock launcher, it's most of the time doing fine because we have another spell tower behind the town hall. And most locks are not getting that far. So it's really important to make sure that at least one of the spell towers is then getting the value in. For this one as well, I feel like the easiest thing to show you how this base works is I have used this actually in a clan war already. And I thought I would just share with you attack so you can convince yourself if you want to use it or not. So let's just jump into the attack and see if you like the base or not, because the attacker is using a really common strategy. And that is, I mean, no big surprise, super bonus. Actually, I was surprised, to be honest, with how many people are using super bonus. This is one of the first seasons where I'm pushing again. And I feel like over half of the attacks turn from air attacks into super bonus already before the update. So that's kind of crazy to me, but it's even more important to then defend those strategies. At the same time, take a look at how many mistakes this guy is doing to really make sure that, okay, he is making a lot of mistakes, so this base is not worth it to maybe like compare it to this attack. But so far he's doing everything fine. He's now freezing the king. Yes, you could argue he should have brought maybe another headhunter or something. But one thing which I'm really impressed with is how he's using the warden. A lot of people at this point would have used the warden already, but he wants to blimp on over his queen, over the head of his queen. And when you're doing that, most of the time, the warden is following those yetis into the core. And this is why he's delaying it. He's still placing it, but yeah, that's just really good. The next thing though is this yeti blimp is somewhat baited, like in between those two heroes. The yetis aren't getting a lot of value, so that's, as a defender, kind of like baited. But he's adding now the warden, so far, execution wise, he's doing everything as he's supposed to do. The next thing I want to highlight is this offense from him is maxed out because of the power potion. So I'm having a non-max base, because this is not my main account, which is defending right now. I have a non-max base versus maxed out on a 15 offense. So this is even more one-sided, which I guess in the beginning is going to be pretty common. But still, I think worth to mention. Now he's breaking everything in, making sure that he's placing the jump then further inside after getting the first 2 layers open. But now we're getting into the danger zone. Now we're getting into the part where this base is really shining. Visibility in the core is dropped, making the town hall, making the core invisible, so nothing is going into the core. Nothing is getting lured into the core, which is really, really important in this one. Everything is going around. The monolith is going crazy, shooting at everything left and right. And now, after the first invisibility test has worked, the second invisibility is coming in, and it's turning this town hall invisible. And you can see as well, this queen is struggling with some skeletons. The only lucky thing for him is that this royal champ is giving her ability, and he's getting the luckiest shields ever. Otherwise, this would have been the 1-star. And again, I want to highlight, he did nothing wrong, okay? He did, like, this was a super clean attack execution-wise. It might have been not the best approach overall, but what he did it in the correct way. But just those invisibility spells to deny pathing and everything, it's just so good. And it's really giving you a lot of opportunities of defending on a 1-star. And this is strong, okay? So it's like risky, but like, especially in the beginning, I would really recommend maybe invisibility towers. But I guess it's up to you, and that's why I have bases for rage, poison, and invisibility. All of those links are down below. For this base, I would recommend maybe, actually right now it's still hard to recommend. I would maybe just go with a hound, super minion, headhunter, and 2 archers. This is right now the clan cast which I'm running right now in Legends. But try out different as well. That's totally up to you. The other base which I posted for the Clan War and Legends, the same thing. I'm right now using still the Hound. I'm not getting attacked too much by Titans at the moment, so it's still fine. And especially versus those attacks with the bowlers, it's working just so well. But try it out. Try whatever works best for you. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next video. And please let me know how those bases defend down below in the comments, and if you can recommend them. Thank you so much. Until tomorrow, and bye-bye.